You are listening to Power Stance Gamers Podcast, the best place for quality tabletop banter. With your hosts, Jacob, Greg, and Muddi.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Power Stance Gamers. My name is Jacob Connor, I'm your host, and with me is the extraordinary co-hosts, Mr. Greg Millsop.
Good morning, listeners.
And Mr. David Muddiman.
Hi, guys.
So let's get straight into it. We've got a heck of a lot to talk about tonight.
Heck of a lot.
Heck of a lot. Muddi, what do you
That means a lot.
It does.
It does.
It's French.
Heck.
Actually.
In case anyone
Heck.
from outside of Australia doesn't,
Yeah, got a couple
know
of
our
listeners-
lingo.
A couple of listeners in Japan.
Oh, really?
Apparently, yeah.
Heck. Well, there you go.
International. I'm not
International.
surprised. Not surprised.
Well,
Oh.
one in Amsterdam, that could be my little brother.
Oh, so that's kind of cheating.
That's good. He's getting some good business to his window, by the way. Anyway, Muddi, what have you been up to?
Very little actually. So mini review here. Big shout out. I know they're not listening though. Victrix miniatures. I got my Imperial Roman Legionnaires in the attacking pose this week, and mate, they are just stellar.
Stella?
They're stellar. Seriously, God, if you even remotely need some humans in a fantasy game, or you're into historicals or something, you got to check these guys out. The level of quality that this company is putting out for their miniatures is just getting higher and higher. I've gone from the initial boxes of the Greeks when they first came out, which was the Thebans, the Athenians, the Spartans, and the mercenaries. I've done the Macedonians, and the quality stepped up again, and now with the Imperial Romans again, it's phenomenal. It's just a treat to paint, and I've already knocked over pretty much 10 of them this week, and I've been busy.
Get some,
Yeah, cool.
Get some photos up.
I'll get some photos up when I get my first regiment done. Seriously, I can't speak highly enough of. But anyway, there's your mini Victrix.
I have to say, listeners,
report.
I do not find Romans or any of that historic stuff interesting one bit. But whenever you show me those miniatures, I was like, yeah, I'd buy them.
Yeah,
sure.
they're the attacking ones, and they've also got some marching ones. So I'm actually going to go set for sets just to fill out all the Romans, and I'm replacing all of my Warlord Legionnaires so they better fit the size of the auxiliaries.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they're that good, and they're going to be a treat to paint, and they look $1 million.
I gotta say, getting into my Napoleonics, I hope my wife doesn't listen to this.
My, that's a lot of painting.
I've got a couple of Warlord British Infantry, and
Yep.
they're just really static looking, but the Victric ones,
Yep.
I know there's not heaps of detail in Napoleonics, because of the amount of painting and
the
modelling
amount of
involved.
guys. Yep.
But the Victrix ones have a real sort of sense of that they're actually fighting, not just walking on a parade ground.
Yep. And I don't know much in regards to their company. I'm not getting any kickbacks, guys. But I don't know how many guys they even have working for them, etc. You know what I mean? Like sometimes some of these smaller companies are only realistically one guy in a garage, as opposed to the Games Workshops with thousands of employees. But as once you put something on a website and you put out a product, you really don't know how big a company
That's
is.
exactly right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my week, bud.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
Greg, I know we've had a very busy weekend.
Oh
Yours is busy
yeah.
than
Well,
mine.
busy week.
Little jealous.
Busy week. What have I got up to? Did JT's minis, which a bit of a milestone. Took only a year to get
A year for
get
3
them
miniatures.
finished.
Jeez, they
Yeah.
must have some
Let's
superbly
pump them
painted
out.
eyeballs.
So,
Just
for those
pump them out.
listening at home, what miniatures were they? Just so
They
we
were
can-
ITS, the Infinity Tournament System, limited edition miniatures that they release each year for their tournaments.
So you need to win a tournament to get one.
or you could buy us if
Well,
you so desire.
JT would never stoop that low.
Would he?
Wink, wink. Yeah, okay, all right. One was a sniper chick. One was a big gorilla monkey type miniature space monkey for you, Muddi.
Can I just step in? I don't know. Are these actually usable in the game? They got
100%.
rules? Are, they just,
Yeah.
are these just a separate?
No, they're mercs, so you can use them in your force, any force,
Oh, right.
outside ITS to a certain extent.
I thought maybe they were already in the game, but these are another sculpt for the same thing.
Correct
No.
me if I'm wrong though, the ITS ones can go in any force.
Actually, they can.
So you don't need Mercs
correct.
options, you can just take it in your force.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
They
That's
don't
it.
they don't
Could be-
unbalance
could
it
be
or
absolutely
anything, do they?
No, you're right, actually. Because
Yeah.
there is a generic bounty hunter slot in your force selection, which would cover the sniper, crackle, the gorilla.
Yep.
You can.
But
And
they don't
unarmed.
unbalance anything by having them
No.
able to jump in.
Because
and
it's
out?
Infinity is
still
an incredibly
costed.
balanced
Yeah.
system.
Okay, cool.
They're still costed appropriately.
And the other one was Armand Lemute. What else been up to? Played Ticket to Ride with the kids. Played Halo Ground Command with the kids. Which was...
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Spartan Games, alright. Off you go. What's your thoughts?
Well, I'd love to do a review.
Oh,
on that
come on.
particular
Just
game.
Okay,
give me a
Um,
20-second wind-up of what you think about it.
I like it. It's complicated, I think,
Yep.
to a certain extent, but I do like it.
Okay.
It's fast.
Yep.
I give it that. Very fast system with the real mechanics of the re-rolling the dice and stuff.
Yep.
Have
they still got the exploding
Yeah.
dice
Yep.
mechanic?
that kind of threw me
Yep.
initially.
Yeah. Yep.
And the YouTube video that's supposed to explain the rules doesn't explain it
So
particularly
is that
Yep.
explain dice like you roll a 6 and then you get more dice kind of thing?
kind
or-
of, yeah.
It counts as 2 hits, and you get to roll the dice again.
Yeah,
and if you
so-
get another 6, it just keeps going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
depending on the result.
Yeah.
Keep going and going and going. Yeah. So, but what I would say is the Spartan troops are absolute tanks.
Yeah.
They just
Well, I guess that is the whole
it's like
point
one
of the
little
game,
dude
right?
on the table because it's a 1 to 100 scale, I think.
Have you got
So
the vehicles as well?
Yeah, the warthogs
Oh,
and
so what
ghosts.
miniatures? What do you think?
Love it.
Yeah,
love
'cause
the detail.
How much?
Wicked.
The thing I found interesting was like some of it is in resin,
Yep.
but some parts are.
Most of it's lead.
Yeah.
The warthogs, the vehicles are more resin
Yep.
based.
Yep.
Whereas the troops are all lead.
The infantry models are essentially all lead, are they?
Yeah, or
Like
metal. I should say
single
white
piece.
metal, not lead.
Yeah, and they just go in like the old epic sort of scale.
Yeah, pretty much.
Slaughter
Yeah.
based sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds like we need to do a review of it.
It's one of those
Definitely.
games that when they're doing it, because they got the space one as well, and I was like, oh,
I'd
this
love
could
to
be
play
kinda
it with
cool.
the adults, to be honest, because the kids, whilst they're great and great fun,
Yep.
they
Struggled with it.
yeah,
It's
a
not
little
X-Men.
bit. Yeah, we can't play the full rules because it's too complex for them.
Yep.
You know, yeah. So it'd be good to review it.
Oh, bring it around. Let's crack it on.
whatever.
Yeah,
Good
Well,
chance.
definitely. Pop it in the schedule.
Yep.
Jeez, we're getting a bit of a lineup.
I know.
Yeah, things
I
to
know.
do.
Hope you guys aren't sick of listening to us.
And
Have to
finally,
quit work.
of course, we had Briscon on the weekend, which was massive.
Briscon,
Huge.
absolutely. Greg, give us a bit of background. What's the story of Briscon?
Well, it's the second year of running, and I would say I didn't play last year, but I did go down to the hall to check it out last year. And last year's event to this year's event, they've probably grown by 50% to the point where the hall was maxed out, I would have said. So
it was bum to bum.
yeah,
Ask
there was
crack
not-
to ask crack, eh?
yeah.
There was not many areas you could stick a table. To be fair,
No.
they had every ounce of room taken up.
Can I hop in? Because I was at work, guys. So was it full of was this, when you're saying it's full, is this full of tournaments or was it very full of demo games? And what was the demographic like? Like, were you getting a lot of families in or just lots of garage gamers that were coming in to play various systems that maybe you don't see every day?
Yeah, I think it was a really
Tournaments?
interesting mix. There were lots of vendors there, and I was actually surprised by the amount of vendors.
Yep.
And the stock they brought along too. Like, it was a really well stocked convention. I've
It
been
was
to a
great
few
for that.
where it's sort of hard to sort of see what the point
Yeah.
of coming was.
Yep.
And there was heaps of games. So I heard something around 300 registered players
Yes,
across
that's-
the weekend.
Apparently, that's how
across all the
It
systems.
felt more
Across
than
all the
that,
systems.
to be honest,
Yeah.
but I didn't do an
But
actual.
a lot of those
head count.
systems too, from my understanding, were literally running only one day, right? A lot of those events. So, like, I don't know, because I know there was some Impetus, I think, was there. You had, I'm assuming Age of Sigmar.
Yep.
40k,
Batman Miniatures game.
Kings,
30K.
Infinity,
30k.
30k. Okay, so some of those events were only one day, though, right?
Yeah, the war.
Yeah,
definitely,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ninth
Yeah.
Age. You mentioned Ninth Age.
Oh, no, I didn't, sorry.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
Age. There was
I think I said Age of Sigmar.
You would have loved it. There was a huge Lord of the Rings Siege game.
Oh,
That looked
really?
Sick.
I'm chucking it out here. It looks like
How good?
thousands of points inside.
How good does Lord of the Rings look? Like, I've never really liked, because I find it was almost like, have you guys ever played it?
Mate, before I played Fantasy, that was my jam.
Alright, so, have you ever played it, Greg?
Never played it.
Okay, so it came across to me, and it makes sense, because that's what the movie is, but it was a lot Hero Hammer.
Yeah, when I played it, it was definitely Hero Hammer.
And
yeah.
I didn't really I actually just wanted to push the big blocks of, troops around.
Yeah.
But the models are amazing, because it was a more realistic scale. They're quick and very quick and easy to
Yeah.
paint, and the board looks amazing.
Yep. Yeah.
Because I had a mate who was
Well,
right into it.
Again, another one to review because I've never played it, so I'd like to
We can
give
either
it a
find
crack.
someone that has before for us to borrow.
True.
Sloppy Sloth Slayer.
Yep.
He's a bit of a Lord of the Rings whore.
I'm sure we
Yeah.
could get. I'm sure we could get. a couple
I'm really
more.
surprised I never ran into him at Champside Games Workshop all those years ago.
Yeah. Well,
Hang on a second.
he's-
Is it discontinued?
I don't know.
I think they're still making stuff.
I just don't
You can
think
still buy it through G-Dub.
they're probably
Yeah.
just not doing rules and stuff anymore.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
The forces you can still buy.
Could it's been 10 years since I've had the game, I reckon.
Yeah.
Not 10 years, that's probably too long. When did I start playing fantasy? 2010?
No, you
Well,
probably,
8 years,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
yeah. Jeez.
We're
Maybe
getting
10
old.
years ago, yeah.
The beards are getting greyer.
Yeah, they are. Don't scare everyone.
But look, awesome for Southeast Queensland, awesome for Brisbane. It was done on International Tabletop Day. as
Tabletop
well.
Day.
Yeah, which was-
Many board games, or was it literally you reckon
Actually,
a lot of tabletop?
Vault Games had the board game area set up,
Yep.
and they basically had, shelves. It was free. You could come
Oh,
along.
so that's one of those
crack out
where
some
you
games.
literally go in and essentially you're trying before you buy, and then if you like the game, you can just go,
Yep.
I'll have a copy of that, thanks.
And it was funny, I actually had a couple of ex-students that I used to teach rock
Oh,
up.
right.
And he's
Give
like,
detention.
"Oh, Mr. Connor,
I like how they
how
still
are
call
you?" And I'm like,
How are
"Yeah,
you,
good,
sir?
mate, good."
Move along.
He's like, "Yeah, we're over here if you want it." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, good for you." Nah,
Good,
it was
alright.
actually really good to see him, and yeah, they were there having, and I saw him walking out, and he had a big armful of board
Boards and
games.
stuff. Yeah, young and got
Yeah.
nothing to spend their money on.
Yeah, clearly.
Yes.
So, no, I think that was really good.
Did you guys buy much stuff there?
I did actually.
Oh.
Well, to be fair, one of the vendors had a deal on that you got 10% off.
Yep.
So if you pre-ordered it, so I did that. Then I bought stuff for the kids. Then I thought, I may as well buy some stuff for myself. And then I thought, I really need a few little bits and pieces. So yeah.
So the shopping list just kept
I would
growing.
have probably blown two or 300 grand, two or
300
grand.
Sorry, not grand. I wish I blew 200 or 300 grand.
No, you don't, actually.
See,
No, I
I got some coin out when I did the groceries on Saturday. I'm like, this is my spending money for tomorrow, but I blew most of it at the pub on Saturday night.
Oh, that was actually
Listeners,
really...
it wasn't just me down there having a tip on my own. It was, we caught up after the first day
How'd
of
your
gaming.
tipping go?
It was pretty bad, actually.
Yeah, I think the Blues seemed to win everything Saturday night, did they not?
Yeah, I had Perth to beat Sydney in the A-League, and that was
That
just
worked out real
that
good
did
for
not
you,
work
didn't
out
it?
well at all.
And Greg was talking up the rugby too about how they were going to smash the Waratahs as well.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
and that
yeah,
apparently
that did
didn't
not
happen either.
No,
So
no,
I was the
stupid
winner of the
Reds.
night, apparently.
Yeah.
The curse of the Reds.
Well, I guess it all comes out in the wash at State of Origin, doesn't it, Greg?
That's true. Yeah.
At
Gonna-
Briscon, I managed to pick up some Napoleonic infantry, and I've been saying it, I've been doing it, and
So this is why I
Again.
got a black powder attachment sent to me, is it?
yes, that was the receipt for the rule book that I am buying at the moment.
Right. So
Right,
it's on.
That was a bit sneaky, wasn't it?
So it's on,
Yes,
is it?
yeah.
Right. So I've got to get some Prussians started. do
Well, I don't know. I've got no idea of rules, and I'll probably put it out to listeners. Recommend me some.
there are so many rules for the historicals. I think
I got.
we've spoken about this once before. The problem with historicals
Yeah,
is
it's the rules.
so
Hang on,
many
what sort of scale are we
rules.
talking about?
28.
28 mil.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, God's scale.
God scale.
Yeah.
I picked up black powder because I thought
Big
it's
company.
Warlord, big company,
Yep.
it's supported.
Yep.
Lots of expansions, but I thought go from there. But I haven't seen it played. I've seen a couple of other rule sets played, so I'm just curious as to what's actually out there.
Okay.
So I think there's a few guys I know. Listen, I'm going to call out Ken.
Yeah, Ken from
from
the Kings.
Q&K.
Yep.
Get on.
He's
Set-
into his Napoleonics. I
Yeah.
just don't know what system he plays. Briscon, were there any Napoleonic events there
Yeah.
that
there
weren't
There was
a small scale?
there was a massive Dresden
Yep.
game, like
That looked
Napoleon's last victory.
Yeah.
That looked
Basically, it
amazing.
looked so.
And that was
good.
what, all 28 mil?
Nah.
No,
Oh,
it was
so they did the
15, I think.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, and again, it's just the passion that those guys put into the hobby. The terrain looked fantastic. They
Yep.
all had commemorative shirts,
Yep. Oh, nice.
commemorating the weekend.
Did they all have
battle.
big neck beards as well?
No, there was
No?
actually again a really interesting mix of dudes at the
Oh,
table. And I
wow.
think it's a theme that I sort of noticed across all the weekend. Like,
The changing faces of the gaming scene.
yeah, I know you were talking about last.
Is this not what we were talking about last episode?
I think it might
where
have been because
it's
it was fresh in
happening?
my head. I listened to the episode on the way to Briscon.
Yep.
And I'm walking around going, Muddi's got onto something here.
Guys, I am a social analyst.
You are.
I am the quiet guy who can sit back and see what's going
You've
on
got your
before I make
finger
a comment.
on society's
I'm
pulse.
telling you,
Yep.
I'll be running for president next year.
That's it.
I'm going to make gaming great again.
Well, let's start with the podcast.
There you go. Making podcasts great again.
But no, it was really interesting. Oh, and otherwise I've been playing Xenoshift with my wife.
Xenoshift, what's that?
It's a deck building game where you need to protect your base against aliens.
Oh, right.
So it's
right.
card based.
I don't know any card games.
It's ridiculously
I
hard.
don't even know poker.
Hard.
It's hard, and this is, I think, the thing. My wife, she's kind of anti. She's nerdy in her own way, and that's why I married her. But she's also, her gaming's like, nah, won't even touch it. But every now and then something will come along that's not quite so nerdy. And she'll go, oh, yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah.
And because this was hard, she kind of takes it personally that we didn't win. So now she has to beat it.
There you go. Yeah, got it. I understand that.
She likes
Yeah.
belting out the tunes.
She does.
Well, the first time I ever met her,
Oh,
I came
yes,
over your
that's
house
right.
and did she
Her
was
and
it
her
a
sister.
And
Yeah.
they had the what is it? The Xbox?
Guitar Hero. yeah.
Guitar Hero, and they were jamming and on. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I'd never seen it like that.
Yeah, no, it was, that would have been an introduction.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
my introduction to your little clan.
Yeah, Jesus.
That's a while ago.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, but I've remembered it.
So, yeah, but it's a good game. We should crack it out sometime. Again, probably not enough depth for a review, but it's just a good little...
Yeah, another game to add to the list, apparently.
Right, well, that sounds like we've had a busy week. But, yeah, time's a wasting. Let's get on to our next segment, which is News to Us.
Well, listeners, it's been a busy week news-wise as well, with everything that's going on in the hobby.
Okay, what's going on?
Obviously, the big one is still the 40k changes. More information being released by G-Dub.
Or what's some of the details?
Specifically, it's going into more of the rules changes, which we're not really up to speed with. To
All
be
right,
fair, but
not at all.
we are part of a gaming group where they're continually updating us on a minute-by-minute basis, I would say.
Can I hop in here? Are they happy about the changes? Because from my understanding, it's shifting to an Age of Sigmar where they're going to simplify and
appears that way,
streamline some of these
definitely,
rules.
It definitely appears to be simplifying.
Isn't this a positive thing? Are they positive
Yeah.
about these changes,
Yeah,
or do you
on the
see
whole.
some like a little bit worried?
No, on the whole, I would say they're positive.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell because I'm so far out of loop. When I'm hearing stuff like, oh, you can shoot your pistols out of combat or that sort of stuff, I'm like, I have no idea whether that's going to be game breaking or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it sounds like a cool rule where you've got your chainsword stuck in an orc's neck and you're still flailing about with your pistol.
All right, if that's something that's happening, I wouldn't be happy with that because remember when Age of Sigmar first came out and he was shooting into combats and all sorts of stuff, I never liked that.
Yeah.
I like the fact that if I'm in hand to hand, my mind is focused on hand to hand, right? You're not
Yeah.
in a
You're
fight.
not a 10-foot
and
tall warrior from, 38,000 years from now.
Yep.
He's been genetically bred to bring death and destruction on his enemies. So I'm not saying you couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But if you were, you could probably hit someone with a sword and shoot another cunt at the same time. It's probably okay.
I don't know. I don't like mixing. I like the
You
shooting.
don't like mixing it up.
I like the shooting and I like the fighting.
You like your phases.
I like my phases.
Yeah, right.
I like the phases, bro. I'm a
1,
phase
2,
bro.
3. Don't fucking deviate.
No phases me, bro.
So
Alright,
there's that, and also G-Dub came out and said if you've bought a book recently, a codex, he said more than happy to keep it, but if you do want to change it and get store credit for whenever the new changes come into play,
Oh wow!
yeah, more welcome to do it.
How
More power.
much change is going on in that office?
Look, I mean, that's interesting. But then at the same time, have you ever walked out of Games Workshop with a receipt?
Yeah, true. That's true.
Well, what about say you're buying digital content as well? I mean, a lot of that
That's a
stuff's
good
on
question.
iTunes. I was buying all my army books on iTunes. Imagine that you'd be able to hand back quite easily. Imagine if you could hand back your end times books right now.
Oh yeah, I'd love it. Yeah.
I probably still wouldn't. I actually wouldn't, but I bet a lot of people would.
I'll give you $50 for them.
I won a copy of Archaon, at the last Warhammer 8th edition event we did
Oh yeah, yeah.
at the premiere.
Was that for best sports?
No, I think it was the Lucky Door prize.
Yeah, we've been
Oh,
looking
right, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got. But I already had it digitally. So,
Okay.
you know what? I just came up with an idea. We could give it away
Give it away.
as a prize for something. I don't know. Come up with an idea for a contest or something, and I can give that away.
That's very generous of
I
you.
know. Well,
Alright.
I've got it digitally anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Shit, that's
All right,
all
we'll
right with
think,
you
we'll think of
guys.
something.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
cool.
very generous of
Yeah.
you.
Oh, that's
Good on
how
you,
I
mate.
roll. You know, it's all
Yeah.
about the community.
All about the hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. We'll come up with a contest, and
Yeah.
maybe someone would want that. I don't know.
I'm
Well,
sure everyone
that
would want
that moves smoothly into the next news segment, news item, which is all about the Age of Sigmar skirmish game, which other than the
it.
title
You see, this
and singular figures in the photograph.
This is really interesting to me because it's like they've just dropped. You know when you drop a fart in an elevator and walk out,
No, I hold on to it. I don't let it
and
out.
you just like enjoy thinking about that for the rest of the ride? Because that's what I'm getting. Age of Sigmar was meant to be a skirmish game, wasn't
Exactly,
it?
that's exactly right. It was supposed to be a skirmish game.
And instead, they dropped this photo that says Age of Sigmar skirmish.
Yep.
Nothing. They
Yep.
walk out of the elevator, and we're
Yeah.
left sniffing the
Yeah.
the fart.
I don't understand, to be honest, because you're 100% right. It was supposed to be a skirmish game. Go figure.
Maybe the game, because we haven't played it for a while,
Has
has
evolved.
progressed now.
And
so it's
I got to say, and I know I've mentioned this a couple times to you guys, but at Briscon, I spent a bit of time around the Age of Sigmar tables.
how many guys? Was there a fair few playing?
Looked good
Yeah,
showing.
yeah.
I
That's
couldn't
what
tell you the
happens.
exact
That's what
numbers.
happens when you got a company supporting the
Mm.
product.
Couldn't tell you exact numbers, but it was good. And beautifully painted. Terrain was spectacular.
Yep.
Models were great. There wasn't a single unpainted force there that I saw.
Fantasy miniatures do look good on round bases, don't they?
They do.
It's so
Yeah.
wrong, but it's so good.
But
It's like the dirty stash
But-
of porn under the bed.
what really surprised me, and it could again, it's because I haven't looked at Age of Sigmar for a couple of years, I think,
Mm.
is that it looked like War Machine. I was really surprised how much it looked like War
That
Machine.
really surprises me.
So I'm talking.
I don't
'cause
know.
I've seen War Machine lately, and when I used to play War Machine, I had 4 Warjacks and the caster and a couple of support dudes, and that was it. But now I look at War Machine played up at Q&K and round the joint, and I see,
The models are getting bigger too, aren't they? You got those gargantuans.
big-ass models.
Yep.
and
On
then
the CD
lines-
bases or something.
lines of infantry, usually 2 ranks
Yep.
of line infantry that go across the 4-foot board.
In War
It's
Machine.
like the whole. Yeah, that's what War Machine
Really?
looks like to me.
Was War Machine at Briscon?
Must have been on Saturday,
Yeah, okay.
and that's what I thought when I walked past Age of Sigmar initially.
You
I
it was
thought,
War Machine.
oh, they got War Machine on today. And then when I look closer, I'm like, hang on, that's a high elf
Oh.
or a wood elf because it was the treeman.
Yep.
And I'm like, what's going on here?
Yep.
And I look closer, and then a lot of the tables, like there are obviously a couple of exceptions, people that had cavalry armies or more monster-based armies, but if there was an infantry army, generally it was lines of infantry, 2 ranks deep,
big
walking
monster.
across the table.
Yep.
Like the width of the table. So I'm intrigued at how that all works out, and I'm going to do a bit more research around the topic. I think.
Again, another review, perhaps, of Age of Sigmar, given the fact that it's been 2 or
Don't
3 years.
tell me another game system we're going to have to add to the list.
Yes.
It's getting longer.
Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
lord.
Long
Yeah.
and distinguished.
I'll go tell the missus I need to quit work now.
So what else we got? We got the Mantic Scenery Kickstarter. That's come out. Muddi?
Yeah, this one, I got the email and I've had a look at it. They keep hitting, their targets and they're just releasing more and more. I, listened to Mantic actually talking about what they're trying to do, what they're trying to achieve. I know Jacob's going to have reservations about,
Look,
Mantic
I'm
using
just
a Kickstarter.
really happy
again.
that a startup, brand
Yeah.
new company with a fresh ideas
Yep.
getting out there and using a crowdfunding platform to provide capital for a project that they probably couldn't have got off the ground any other way.
There's no sarcasm at all.
I'm
And you know
No
what?
sarcasm.
I agree. I actually agree with you. But in fairness to them, this is the way they like to operate.
Yeah, I
and
get it's their business.
The product that I've seen that they're bringing out, that they've got the renders for and whatnot, is top notch. It's if anyone's got like into their dungeon crawlers and all that sort of stuff, D&D, I guess some whatever other fantasy RPGs, whatnot. This stuff is you're gonna want to back this thing. I'm looking at it. I don't even play RPGs, and I'm looking at it for. like loot markers and whatnot for Kings of War or something.
Are you going to back it?
Possibly, yeah, because they've got there's a couple that stood out to me. It was the and they've got little different types of packs that you can get to suit the type of terrain that you want.
Yeah.
But there was got like the dragon stash of gold, little piles of gold with swords in there and some armor and all this sort of stuff. Fantastic. I looked at it and thought,
Yeah, cool.
what? I could use that in Kings of War.
How much are we talking?
I don't know. I've got to look it up. You guys know me. I don't really do any show notes. Sort of thing I probably should have written down. I didn't.
Get out of here.
But
He's thinking about it, though. He's thinking about it.
yeah, I'm actually starting to think about it. But yeah, no, it's an interesting thing, and I guess part of the reason I suppose I'll let them get away with it on the Kickstarter again is that realistically, the stuff they're bringing out here doesn't really pertain to really any of their actual games, other than they got a dungeon crawler game. But apart from that, this is stuff that people from other systems are going to want to buy.
Can use,
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay, Jacob, this one's for you. Fallout game.
Oh,
Many
my
scores.
goodness.
Didn't score on Saturday.
Can I just say, I wish I had have asked for Scarlett Johansson on my doorstep. Because if I had known, all I needed to say was in a podcast, I wish they'd make a Fallout Miniatures game, and then the next week they go, hey, we're
by the way.
making a Fallout Miniatures game.
Yeah.
Look, I'm hugely excited about this, obviously, because I said I wanted one.
I'm going to say, from the renders too, like, I don't know anything about the Fallout
Same
game.
here, it
Like, I
looks
know
cool.
it's a computer game. I get that. I've never played it. It looks pretty good.
The dudes look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good, and I'm glad Modifus is doing it.
Yep.
Because I look at the work they've done with the Infinity RPG, and it was from a Kickstarter, and it's been delayed, but I don't mind because the reason it's delayed is because they want to get it right, and they're in constant consultation with Corvus Belli to go, we want our game to reflect your game and the world you've created. And if they're putting that same level of attention to detail into the Fallout game, they're talking with Bethesda and saying, right, we want to bring your world alive on the tabletop, not we want to cash in on your IP. Like,
Yeah.
and there's always a bit of a worry. Is it going to be a cash in? Is it going to be, a decent adaptation? My big things is I hope they stick with the special skills: strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, and luck. Like,
Okay.
if they use stats, if they can translate that to a tabletop somehow, like, that's going to be great, because then it will have the feel of the Fallout game
Of the actual game itself.
rather
on the
than just
board.
using generic values.
I think
Okay.
one thing that stands it in good stead is the fact that it is actually based on a computer game. From what I saw, for example, of Halo Grand Command, the fact it's based on the Halo IP, the similarities. I mean, it's just like the miniatures are just like the computer game. Like the render,
They're in
amazing.
close consultation with those
Yeah, so
guys too. Yeah,
I think
the
with
Halo.
Fallout, it's going to stand in good stead, I think, because the whole thing about a computer game is the aesthetics. Like, whenever you play a game, it's got to look good. So,
And that's the thing
There's
with
no doubt
Fallout.
about it.
It's 20-year-old IP, and it's very iconic. Like you said, the minis look good, and
Yeah.
like that, the guy in the power armor.
Yep.
Like, that is spot on. Like,
Yep.
it's down to the detail.
So
Fantastic.
the fact that they're getting the miniatures so right,
Yeah.
you got to think, okay, these guys are taking it serious.
Yeah.
Much like Halo. I saw some interviews with Spartan Games talking about the interaction of, from memory. This is a while back. Is it 343?
343 Industries.
Industries that run the Halo, yeah, and when they were doing the spaceships combat game, how much level of detail they're going into actually designing the miniatures to directly reflect what's in the video game itself. So, yeah, it seems to be like it will bode well for you, buddy.
So, any time frames with that?
I think they said by the end of the year.
Right.
Wow, so Christmas present,
that's
eh?
pretty.
If my phone was working any quicker, I'd be able to tell you. Cause
Oh,
I'm
Santa
looking
will
up
be
now.
bringing it
It's,
for you.
Look, I mean, I already told my wife I'm getting it, and she's like, "Yeah, I know you will," and that's cool. She's accepted it. So,
You didn't tell her how much of it you were going to get.
I'm going to get it all. She
Yeah.
knows I'll get it all.
Yeah.
She knows she's seen the bookshelves in my study. She
Yeah.
knows I'm going to buy everything. But it's basically, yeah, I'm nervous because it's something I've wanted for ages.
And it's something, yeah. So
And
there's
it's-
a lot riding on this for you.
yeah, and
emotionally.
I'll be disappointed if it
There could be tears.
doesn't meet my
Again,
high
by the sound of
expectations.
it, getting back to what we've talked about before, like innovation in game tactics, if Fallout, sorry, I shouldn't say Fallout 4. If Fallout has got its own mechanisms, I would seriously doubt they would take in some new system and forget about it. I seriously doubt that.
Yeah.
Because the whole, to be a good, standout in such a competitive industry, you have to have a point of difference, and if it uses the game mechanics as a way to translate itself to tabletop, I mean, I think that's genius. That's a genius move. You'd be crazy not to take that.
Yeah, so
Fingers crossed.
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'm very hopeful,
Yep.
but I'm nervous as well.
Well, we'll keep an eye on it and update our listeners as and when, I suppose, we get the news through.
Yep.
All right, what's next?
That's it.
That's it. Well,
That's
that's news to us.
Yep.
All right, so I guess that brings us to our next segment, which is our whip round segment. We might get an actual whip sound.
Yeah!
All right, this week's topic comes to us from our very good friend Jonathan Walker,
Ooh.
otherwise known as the...
Sloppy Sloth Slayer.
Thank you very much. Now, Jono wanted to know.
What does Jono want to know?
Jono wants to
How
know...
to get ladies?
Well,
Sure,
as ever,
he's down with
He
that.
could always ask my good self for relationship advice. I'm always more
He doesn't
than happy.
want relationship
Always
advice. He
more than
wants to
happy
know
to
how to
help
get
He
the
wants-
ladies into the relationship.
He wants a big old platter of sushi.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes. Bit of Blood Bowl awesomeness there.
And that's another Burwood thing. That
Yeah, that's Burwood.
we got to stop bringing Burwood up.
But we should go back.
Yeah.
Tell you what, Burr was a lot safer than some places in Brisbane.
You reckon? The cops
Yeah.
walking around with the anti-stab vest and the
Yeah.
old man going off with the walking stick trying to hit everybody?
Look at us on Saturday
I
night.
was just trying to watch the football.
that's true.
For Christ's sake. Jono wants to know what motivates us to paint.
What motivates us to paint? Well, now this is, I think, a good place for you to start, Greg, because you probably haven't got notes.
Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, cheers, fellas, for that. What motivates me to paint? I would say creativity motivates me to paint.
Creativity.
Yep. I just, like trying to come up with different things. And I find probably more recently that's a big element of why I sit down and crack the paints open and get stuck into a project.
I thought he would say, because otherwise I can't put my filthy list on
The
the
table.
table. I thought he'd say, I really need
You
to
know
paint
what?
this guy, Achilles, because he kills everybody.
In recent times, I think in the last game against Rory in the Slow Grow League, which I forgot to mention.
Wait, can I just pause? Is that the cheaty one that he's not actually painting anything new for?
Yeah, no, just a
Yeah.
sectorial
Oh,
finger
just gotta
quotes.
paint
I wouldn't
this
call
one,
it cheating. I think that's, drawing a bit of a long bow there, but
Well, it's a little bit more than fudging the rules.
Well, it's like I'm going to switch from vanilla Chaos Space Marines to Corn Marines and
Yeah.
call it a new army.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that
I'm
far.
going to keep the same color scheme.
Yeah,
Most
again,
same
I wouldn't
models.
go that far. But I did use some unpainted miniatures in that game. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't feel dirty.
Serious?
Didn't feel dirty at all.
I
Didn't
couldn't
feel
do it.
Nah,
That's
me either.
disgusting. I don't
That's
even
not
want to
the whole
look
point
at
of
you.
a slow grow league is you paint your army as you go. You're not even getting a new army,
How
and
many-
it's still not painted.
Yeah.
How
nah.
many rules?
Oh,
Yeah.
In fact, you've broken every rule.
It's a bit cheeky.
that's it.
Every rule of the Slow Grow League you actually broke.
Yeah. Just don't make me feel any more worse than I do, actually.
That's right. This is why you need notes, Greg. You just dig yourself holes.
Yeah. Appreciate that, boys. Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, anyway, what motivates you?
What motivates?
Oh, no,
yeah.
we'll go back because you said creativity, right?
Yeah,
And then we gave you a bunch of shit. And you
it's a
forgot
whip
about it.
around. It's, that's it. Creativity. That's
So
let's
creativity.
move on.
What do you mean
Yeah.
by creativity? Because I don't get hit by creativity with paint. So
No,
and
mine's
it's
not
foreign to me.
creativity.
So what do you mean?
Okay, so the next project I'm working on is again a
Terrain piece.
Mycast competition, which is another
Did I get it-
podcast.
Did I get it right?
Specifically
Is it a
aimed
terrain
at
piece?
Infinity
Just did
players.
the train piece.
So yeah, we just did the terrain piece. This is about they've introduced for this season's tournament a specific scenario, I guess, or storyline.
Yep.
With that comes a anarchist group called the Alive Crew, and there's 3 hackers, so 3 dudes. I don't know, 1 chick, 2 dudes, and that's the competition. That's the flavor for this quarter. So I'm doing something for that.
So they haven't released models for them, have they?
Not at all. No, there's no fluff. There's no background.
Yeah.
It's just pure stats and their equipment they've got, and that's it. And so it's really up to you how you approach that. So that's really got my juices flowing, to be honest. I can't wait to start it. But I can't say any more, to be honest. So it's a bit secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
Secret squirrel.
Yep. But I'm very excited.
Interesting.
Very excited.
And that's good because I've seen some half-assed Alive crews getting around.
Have you?
Yeah, and it's like, oh, this is my ghoul arm. That's Kiss. I'm like, no, it's a ghoul arm. Come on, you can do better than that.
Yeah.
So I'm very keen to see people actually put some effort to converting up some crews.
I probably spent about an hour, maybe 2 hours, looking at the whole Corvus Belly range, trying to work out who would pick in the end. So, yeah, I'm actually not converting much, if anything.
Okay.
Maybe a few bits and pieces, a few swaps. Like
Do you have to
weapon
use
swaps.
Do you have to use their miniatures?
Yeah, like if you want to
okay.
use in the ITS their tournament system, I think the rule of thumb is 90% of the model has to be theirs. So
Of
10%.
the model,
Yeah,
not
10
even
no.
like your art.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
So the model, so 10% of the model can be something different.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah. So that's my creative.
Well,
it's my creative outlet.
Be very keen to see how that turns out in the next couple of months.
Yep. I might have done myself a bit of a hole now, but I will see how it goes.
We have
I
to
don't
do
normally like talking about my projects because sometimes they don't finish. Whereas if I talk about them, you have to finish them.
Ah, the
like that.
expectation. Everyone
Yes.
So the
knows.
motivation to paint
Yep.
is to not let our listeners down. That's wonderful.
Actually, that's a good segue to what I wanted to say. Is that the Wednesday workbench?
Oh yeah, Wednesday workbench.
I'm loving it because it's forcing me. I'm like, holy crap! I want to get something done, finished, so I can put it up on the workbench.
All right, yeah, cool.
Yeah. So motivation to get for painting for me. I like seeing the models painted. There's nothing better than getting them off the sprue, putting them in that, for me, the unit movement tray, and just going, they're alive. They become alive. It's alive. That's what motivates me. Because I think we spoke last week. I don't actually enjoy the painting itself. I find it, there's a thousand other things I prefer to do. But that finished product, when you put it in in the movement tray,
Very satisfying.
Yeah.
it is satisfying. You know, you got your command group out the front. You're just like that. That's straight out of the movie or straight out of whatever. You know, that's what gets me going.
No,
And
it's cool.
if I want to play with it, unlike some filth monsters over here, I can't put it on
Don't
the
know
board
what you're talking about.
unless it's finished.
Yeah.
So that's what motivates me to get that job done.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. Jacob?
Me, I just can't bear playing with unpainted miniatures. It just bugs me. And I don't. Again, it's not part of the hobby I love. I don't mind it. Sometimes it's really good a zone out. Like if I've had a crappy day at work or I've got a million things on, I can just put the kids to bed and zone out and paint for a little while. I find that can get me a bit of focus back.
It's almost like watching TV. I find like you can just kind of, because I don't watch a huge amount of TV. There's not a lot on TV, so to do that, I could just sit there and I just zone out.
Like when I paint, I've always got music on. I've always or a movie on or something like. There's always something on the background. But and lately my daughter, she's been getting into it too. So it's kind of a bit of a treat that she wants to paint with Daddy. So we'll sit down, and that's forcing me to paint.
That's
She's
cool.
got these. And maybe we'll put a photo of some of her stuff up on. These are old second-hand minis that I've had forever, and they're just
I think I saw her
caked in
doing
paint.
That's
I think it was
awesome.
a wizard or something that she's shown me a couple of times.
Yeah,
that
from
she's
like,
done. It's like multicolored rainbow wizard.
Yeah, she started out, she'd paint the whole model one colour.
Yep.
And I thought she might have had a touch of the autism. But now she's kind of gone, oh no, I'm going to give it different colour hair and different colour clothes and stuff. And I'm like, phew, thank God.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, that is awesome. It's funny you should say that because my eldest, my youngest has got a Space Marine Dreadnought, and he had a crack at painting it, and to be fair, he plastered it with paint, and he's gone back now and said, oh, can repaint it? I'm like, well look, I'll strip it. So I give it a green bath, got it all stripped, and my eldest started painting it at the weekend when I was away at Briscon, and he's done a bloody, he's doing all right. He's really good. Looks really
Okay.
good. I'll put it up on the website
Man,
on
he's
Wednesday.
bank robber. Respect him in his
Yeah,
in
yep.
the clown mask. That
He
looks
did good.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a really good
Brilliant
job. Yeah.
So both your kids essentially are starting to get into the gaming.
Oh, my
We should do
kids are
a
all over it.
section one day on how to get this to occur, because literally mine are not necessarily that way inclined. They prefer more the video game sort of outlets. But
With Lil, I think it's more spending time with Dad
yeah,
than actually the painting.
I'm
itself.
probably being creative, like
Yeah,
as
I
well,
mean, she
like
loves that
because you
stuff.
already got the paints and
but my kids in the last, it's funny. I swear to God, they used for a period of time we used to sit down and play chess.
Yep.
I don't know. They
Yep.
seem to like it. They've put that. They started fighting too much over it, right? Just the last couple of weeks, Cluedo is coming out constantly.
Yep, Cluedo's a good game.
Constantly.
Yep.
And I literally said to them today, "How would you guys like to push around some X-wing miniatures?"
Oh
And I explained it to them, and I was like, "Yes." So I'm wondering if this could be the gateway to getting them possibly into something a bit
Yep.
more like yours are now painting.
Yeah, welcome to borrow mine.
I've always said
I
to my
might.
wife though, and she's like, "Oh, won't you like it when Finn, that's my son, he's old enough to go gaming with you and go away on your trips?" I'm like, "No,
No.
not at all."
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen. My kids say, "Oh, can we come, Dad?" No, you're not
No.
coming. You're staying at home, Mum.
Yeah.
You gotta have a bit of daddy time.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's it. Like as I said, I'm not playing with unpainted miniatures. That shits me. And yeah, just sort of it's a way that Lil and I think she's cottoned on too that when we paint, because sometimes she'll go, instead of a story tonight, can I paint? And I'm like, yeah, okay. But then we stay up a bit later.
Oh, she's onto it.
And I think she's
well onto it.
She's getting too
She's
clever.
figured you out.
Yeah, that's pretty much me. So there you go, Jono. Thanks very much for a great little question. What motivates us to paint?
Thanks,
Thanks,
Lobster.
John.
Theoretical PSG. We will get merch one day.
Yep.
I swear. And we'll give it to our wonderful
I'll
listeners.
buy him a drink next time I see him.
Bit of a Milton Mango.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Cool. So, let's get ready for our main segment tonight.
You are listening to Power Stance Gamers. And now, this.
Alright, so, main topic tonight comes to us, and this is a topic suggested by one of our listeners, and it's Bensome from Direct Misfire. Muddi, shout out
Nice.
to Direct Misfire.
Direct Misfire, an Australian podcast for Kings of War. Get on it.
Nice. So, Bensome wanted to know some thoughts about painting at tournaments.
He did. He did.
It's a big topic. He sent us a big message. It's on our Facebook if you want to go. I won't read it out here. But basically wants to know our thoughts about how painting in tournaments and more specifically about how it's judged. And this is a hugely, hugely subjective topic.
Yeah,
So
this gets people's knickers in a knot.
Yeah.
This one.
So what we're doing, we're focusing on tonight is we're not saying how people should do it. We're just giving our thoughts on
Our take.
our take on it.
Yeah.
So don't think that we're laying down the law or anything like that. It's really just what we reckon. Bensome in his message said that he's attended quite a few events over the years, and he says that the most common way that painting's judged is lay your army out and basically vote for the best one.
Yeah,
and
player's choice,
he's not a
essentially.
huge fan of that.
Yep.
Basically because it kind of showcases the flashier looking armies.
Like we discussed, I think, the last episode.
Yeah.
It inevitably turns into a player's choice because players generally will go for something that's a bit flashy. It might be the board it's on. It could be some lighting. It could be the big stomping monster. Their eyes automatically get drawn to that, and they'll put it down for best painted instead of what he's basically implying is not the technically best painted. And back in the Warhammer 8th edition days, how many phone calls did we have, Greg, where you were asking me about how to improve your painting, getting people to come over, and it was always my advice for that, considering I'm not a painter, was always you need something large in the army to draw the eye, and a nice board, and add some scenery to it, and you'll pick up a lot of points just from that.
Can I just chime in quickly, though? One point Benson made was the common way armies are judged is by people laying them out, and then the players themselves go around and vote. There's actually two different ways you can do that, and I didn't know people did this until we went to CanCon last year, and even this year they did it.
This is for Infinity, though?
This isn't for Infinity,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay,
Yep,
all right,
Infinity. But maybe this is like a down south thing, as in Sydney, Melbourne thing,
Yep.
or Infinity thing, I'm not too sure. But anyway, the guys that run Infinity were from Sydney this year, Melbourne last year, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
But anyway, so the way the armies were painted was you display your army, and then you put a piece of paper beside it, and people walk around and just put a tick or a dash. And
Really?
Then, yep. And then that's your vote, and walk on. Right? That's how it's so. And then the judges pick the pieces of paper up, and then bring them over and tally the ticks. Now, in Q&K days, whenever we had Warhammer Fantasy Battle events, it was the secret ballot. You've got a piece of paper that the TO gives you.
That's it. I'll
write the name down.
I'll talk a bit more detail about that.
Yeah,
later on,
I guess it's interesting that we come from a different perspective of secret ballot as opposed to open information. And I think for a start, number one, if Bensome is talking about that method of voting, well, first of all, you can clearly cheat by putting ticks beside whoever you want.
Or you cross out Greg's name and write your own.
Yes, that has happened.
Jacob?
Happen? Yeah, Jacob did it.
I mean, theoretically it could.
What are you Infinity guys up to?
So,
Shenanigans.
Jeez.
I must admit, I don't agree with that open balloting. I don't agree with that at all.
I never knew this system existed.
Yeah, I thought you did.
I know purely what we ran in the Warhammer days with the Q&K, which is to me the preferred.
How did Kings do it in
system.
CanCon?
Secret
ballot?
I can't remember.
Well, it must be not the way that the guys in Infinity did it, because you would.
No, I can't
that,
remember.
yeah.
I can't remember if we did it the same way that we've done the Warhammer ones, i.e., the same way you did Best Sports, right? On your sheet for the day, you've got all your tournament, scores, blah blah blah, and then you would put in your little areas your 3 best opponents, or for some events your favourite opponent of the day. You just write it in, and then who you voted for best painted. I don't know if we did it that, or if it was literally judge's choice.
Right, okay.
Because I don't remember ever actually writing anything down, so I got a feeling that CanCon, what was that? Is that 15 or 16?
Last year, 16.
16.
Yeah.
I think that might have been a judge's choice.
Yeah, right, which is, again, one of Bensome's points.
Yeah.
And I think judge's choice is interesting. If you've got people that know painting, they're going to come up with something different to people that are just wandering around ticking a box saying that one looks the best.
I would also go further to say no painting and know the system as well, because again, I've been in a situation where at the nights where we have had a painting judge, and because they were out of the loop, they came in and they don't spot the conversions because they don't realise it's converted, because they don't know the range.
They don't know the models.
They don't know the models.
Yep.
So they can't pick up small little bits and pieces
Yeah,
like that.
I'm not as
absolutely.
worried about that though, because at the end of the day, when you're doing a lot of conversion work, I think the onus is kind of on you to show whoever's judging the
That's
conversions
true.
that you've done.
However, in this instance,
Because they can
we
be
were playing
quite
games
subtle.
at the same time.
Yeah.
We were actually playing a game.
Well,
so
that's not
yeah.
great. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So in this situation, the issue was
The
Judges
judges
didn't
didn't
know
know
the
the
system.
miniatures.
and
Yep.
the miniatures. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is a big thing.
Yep.
To me, it also I don't know painting stuff. I'm not qualified to judge painting contest. I know
I
the
agree.
miniatures.
I have
I
no-
know what I think looks good, but I pick up one of Greg's miniatures and go, shit, that looks amazing. Couldn't tell you what he did to get it to that stage.
Yep.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, but conversely, we just talked about painting once on, the fact that you don't like not painted miniatures, unpainted miniatures, I should say. So, you know, pick up a brush and you might not necessarily know the absolute technicalities of every single bit, but you know how to splash paint a miniature and you know, all that sort of stuff. So,
Yeah, but see, operating at your level and operating at the 1 meter rule, which is where I live, if I can hold it at arm's length and go, that doesn't look terrible, I know it'll look okay on the tabletop. That's the standard I go to.
But can I just jump? I don't think you necessarily need to know the technicalities of painting to say whether something looks good or not.
yeah, 100%.
But then
Okay,
are we
so-
going
so
back to our
subjective.
original argument of are we
Player's
judging what
choice,
looks good or are we judging best painted?
Well, I actually think it's you need to be able to do both. I think I might have written this in one of the part of the response. I think best painted isn't just. It's not called technically best painted.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Okay, you have to be able to showcase lots of areas. Okay, you have to be technically sound. Okay, but you also need to be able to draw someone to your product in the first place. It's not just, he's really good at layering. It's he's good choices of model, maybe some conversion work. Maybe he's done something really nice with the particular model. Some nice unit filler. The board. It's
the complete package,
encompassing.
isn't it? The complete package. I remember Mighty Mouse back in the 8th edition.
Well, he got a
days.
few best painted.
Man, he won nearly every single one. In fact, nearly if not all the ones he went to.
Yep.
I think maybe I might have got.
I
one or
remember the
two
last
when
one
he
with
was
his
there.
wood elves was really nice.
Where it's just jaw dropping and deservedly so because he did spend a lot of time doing it. And again, going back to complete package, it was thematic. It was use of different materials. It was conversions. It was shading and highlighting and everything that you could possibly draw your eye to his army was spectacular.
Because at the end of the day, best painted. You're trying to sell a product.
Well, here's a question for you. What about player's choice instead of the best painted tag?
Well, see,
some have both.
Here I'll jump in with Q&K because I used to do both.
Yep.
I had my checklist for 20 points. Whereas, to get best painted, usually you need to get 20 out of 20. And it was a couple of steps, like, is everything painted? Yes, go to the next section. Is there, uniformly base colored, whatever? Yes, go to next section. So essentially it was a checklist that the players could use to know what the standard expected was. And at the top end, it was those, is there, attention to detail in faces and items on the model? Is there, freehand work or banners or things like that that would separate the 15-point armies from the 20-point armies kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there was a kind of a checklist in place, but as well as that, and we were really lucky running our events in 8th Ed that we were really well supported and we could give away decent prizes generally.
Yeah, it was a bit of a golden age.
So we had the opportunity to do a best painted and a player's choice and a best sports
I think it's
and
also
podiums. So, we were lucky that we could do the vote. And we always did blind ballots, as you said. You wrote down at the end of the tournament, who do you think was the best? And we'd have an opportunity to do an army parade and people would go around and check everything out. But
I think also it's important to tell the listeners or inform the listeners that with the tournaments that Q&K ran, out of your possible 100, say, points on the day that you could get awarded for playing, I think maybe, was it 10 or 20 points for sports? I can't remember now. Maybe it was 10 points were allocated to sports and 20, maybe, let's say,
I used to go 60% battle and then
was
40% soft scores.
Yeah, alright, there you go. So 20 went in sports and 21 on your painting. So if you didn't have a fully painted army,
You're taking a hit.
ticking all the boxes as far as the checklist is concerned, you're taking a hit on your overall battle points.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, when you're down to, or when you're looking at the top
massive.
of the ladder, is massive.
It's
yeah,
massive.
that extra 2 or 3 points that you're skipping on not having a fully painted army with, doing the faces and the shading and lots of stuff, you're gonna get, you're getting hit, you're taking a hit for it.
Yeah. We, as I said in previous episodes, we've put a lot of emphasis on the hobby aspects in our events.
It shouldn't just be
About
chess.
winning. It should be about winning.
Yeah, it's not just about kicking someone's teeth in. It's more than that. Otherwise, go play chess.
Yep.
This is a
Go play
hobby.
War Machine.
Or play, possibly. There's more to it, and I think people need to be well, it is. You're forced by putting a scoring system on those areas that some of these people don't necessarily like. You are forcing them to actually be engaged in the hobby on more than just building lists and smashing faces in. I think that's something that should be across all boards in probably most tournaments for most systems. I love the soft scores element because it softens that competitive edge. It's all, kick your teeth in and, ha ha ha, look, I took your models off. Yeah.
Yeah, agree. But, that's the philosophy we've had for a long time.
Yeah,
Really.
and then going back to the question, I think there's a balance between the two. What I liked as for best painted is a system where possibly the judge goes around and picks maybe a handful of armies that maybe they think are possible best painted. So let's say out of 20, 30, you're picking 2 or 3, and then the players could possibly vote on those 2 or 3, which cuts out. It also cuts out a bit of shenanigans too, where possibly people are just voting for someone because that's part of their club or all sorts of things. You are literally going, these 2 or 3 people I think are the best painted, and then let the players decide out of those 2 or 3.
And this is what Bensome said in his post, is that he thought this was the best way to do it, and he'd seen it at a Malifaux tournament, I think, off the top of my
he
head.
brought up Malifaux.
So it must have been at a Malifaux tournament. But the same thing, the judge picked the top tier and basically went to player's choice from there.
I was actually chatting to my partner about this, and she came up with a point. Said, "Well, what about the guys that didn't get picked for the, so you pick, say, a handful, and you go, here you go, that's the best painted. What about the other guys? What about them?"
Well, they're just not running for best painted. You're still doing your checklists, so they're still gonna. I don't.
Well, you could if you were scoring painting.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, if you're scoring painting, I don't believe that best painted deserves extra points. Okay, I don't think that's. I think you have a cap, and you cap it at say the 20-point system, right? It's 5, 5, 5, 5. You got all 4. So all the best painteds are obviously all maxed out at probably 20 at this point, but possibly half, if not maybe all the rest of the field have probably maxed it out as well, because all their stuff's painted, 3 colours, based, yada yada yada. But the best painted is a separate award. So, okay, these guys here might not have got into the little judge's choice for the top 3 for the players to vote on, but they're not actually missing out on any points to affect their tournament scoring. But it forces people to have to put a little bit of effort in if they want to do well in the game, because you can't just 20 zip everyone and win the thing, because you're missing out on 20 points and possibly from sports as well.
Well, my partner came up with an idea of okay, so you've got the advanced painters, call them what you may, and then perhaps an intermediate award below that, or alongside that, I should say below.
So
alongside
you're having
that.
multi.
Well, why not have 2? Why not have one like or best improved?
Once again, you're increasing the. So what are these guys getting
well, no, not necessarily for an army. Maybe they showcase one model. Maybe they put their best painted model. So
for large tournaments where I see where you're going, you could instead of you could have an army, best army.
I'm talking generically. I'm not talking about any tournament size. I'm just talking
you could have
generic.
A best army and a best miniature award.
You could
I don't got no dramas with that, but I think that's something obviously reserved for events that are, we're talking probably 100 players or something.
CanCon had 3, the first, second, third. For Infinity, I'm talking about again. Which I thought was good because it gives
for painting.
It acknowledges 3
that's
armies
fine.
out of 60. So.
That's fine. You can easily do that. Because literally you've got the judge who's gone out, picked say the 3. And then it comes down to the player's choice as to how you get first, second, or third.
My point is, I guess in recent times people have mentioned, the advanced painters, the people at the top. They're always winning. They're always getting the prizes. They're always
but that's like saying
the best players are always winning, and the top
general.
Opponents are always getting
best general.
Best sports. What
about the little guy? What about the guy that never gets?
This is like saying everyone deserves a trophy now.
No, I completely agree with you, Muddi. It's so rare that I agree with you, but on this topic I do.
We're all worried about everyone's feelings.
Yeah.
No, if you want to get the best painted, you know what? Watch the YouTube video. Spend the time.
Put in the work that these dudes have.
Get the effort there. You shouldn't be getting necessarily rewarded because you're average.
Let's look at it this way. We go to an Infinity tournament. You come runner up in the top tier painting. Okay, get nothing. I come top of the intermediate range on a fucking good day. It's possible. And I walk away with a $50 voucher. And I'm going, yeah. And if it was me, you'd probably go, congratulations, great job, Jacob. If I was some other pleb that you've never met before, you go, oh, that's fucking bullshit.
And you know what, for me though, and look, to the listeners, I've won a few best painted over the years. Not.
I just like to say, I've won a best painted before.
You have as well at Kings.
I did.
But one thing for me is, and I take Bensome's point, but one thing for me is, I take great pride in the fact that my fellow peers have voted for my army. That's something I strive for. So whenever I paint a miniature and I sit down, I'm trying to always better the last one I did. And when I take it to a tournament and people compliment me, first of all, I'm embarrassed. That's the first thing. And the other thing is I want to show it to people, not to show off, but to go, you know what, if you do put the effort in, if you do sit down, if you do follow the right steps and the right tutorials, and there's a whole pile of them out there, I'm not saying I'm bloody fantastic either.
No, you're saying
you can do it.
You're
Yeah.
saying you got there because you put the time
You
and
worked
effort
hard
in.
for it.
And
Now,
I've-
rewarding someone who's in some intermediate bracket, which is a subjective term in itself.
Yeah.
Once again, now we're having to create another bracket. How do you judge that?
Well, I'll put my hand up and say I'm definitely in the intermediate.
But how do
Don't
you
judge me with the top guys. Put me with the plebs.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. It's just something that my partner asked, and I was having a conversation
Yeah.
with one of the guys at work,
Yeah.
and again, he was saying the same things. Like, well, and look, I don't agree or disagree. I'm more swayed towards agreeing because having been one of those dudes going through the whole trials and tribulations of striving for best painted, because that was a big thing for
it was
me.
hard,
and
right?
it still is a big thing because I love showcasing my work and my style of painting. And for me, like I said, for someone to pat you in the back and go, well done, that's like, well, it's a big thumbs up. I'm like, I really like that. I enjoy that aspect of it. But I don't care if it's a prize. That's got nothing to do with it.
The prize is
the
irrelevant.
100%.
Yeah.
For me, 100%.
The prize.
For most painters, it is.
Yeah.
It's recognition.
No,
Yeah.
I think it's for everyone. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just thinking it through my own perspective. But when we used to do the Q&K thing, we gave glassware or whatever to, first, second, third, best sports, and best painted sort of thing. Okay? I never wanted some extra Warhammer box sets to go with it, if that's what you're talking about with prizes. It was always about, for me, best sports. I got best sports. Holy crap! People think I was the best guy to play. That's awesome. I got a piece of glassware that says it. That's awesome. I wasn't doing it for prizes.
Yeah.
To me, that's the lucky door thing.
But is it prizes as in a box of something you walk away with, or prizes in the title? Because the title is a prize in
The
itself.
title, and like we used to even have just certificate. You could have a certificate even.
Yeah.
I got a way back with the BIG guys were running the Warhammer tournaments. I was the best Lizardman general, and I got a bottle opener that had best Lizardman.
Cool.
Like that's cool as. Now that was like a probably $1 thing or something, $2. But how cool is that?
For me, I think, and I've mentioned this before, it comes back to the continuous improvement of your hobby. And I think that's something we're all striving towards. You're always striving to get better. Always trying to improve, our sports aspect or our gaming aspect, our rules aspect. Painting is no different. It's just one of those things that you're striving to continuously improve.
I'm really intrigued. Sorry to interrupt. Muddi, where would you put yourself as if we went beginner, intermediate, advanced, and even then, if we did beginner 1 to 3, intermediate
skills?
1 to 3, or advanced 1 to 3? Yeah.
For painting skills, I would be intermediate.
What do you think stops you from being advanced?
The reason that I'm not advanced is because I don't want to be advanced.
Right.
Greg took the time and effort to sit there, and we used to analyse this on phone calls all the time. He took an actual step and said, I'm going to get better at this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
That one thing does not interest me.
Yeah.
So I'm more inclined, while Greg's happy to paint his 10 Infinity guys for the next 5 years,
Yeah.
I'll crack out 15 armies. That to me is more pleasurable to look across and go, look at all my armies, this is awesome. Greg looks across and goes, I'm not happy with this eyeball.
I'll do better next time. I'll work hard to fix that. Is that so? That's what you're saying, Greg. Basically, is that continuous improvement?
100%.
I'm not necessarily trying to improve my painting, but obviously, as you paint, you generally get a little better at it. So the techniques might be a little bit better. I might figure out something better with a wash or whatever. But I'm not making a concerted effort to make that progression happen. Whereas Greg took the time, and so should be rewarded with those sorts of accomplishments,
Again,
those accolades.
I'm agreeing with you 100%.
Yep.
Everything you're saying is ringing true for me.
Yep.
Which is scary.
But then, okay, so going back to Bensome's point, how do you keep the judging fair and remove that subjectivity?
Well, I thought
and I have to say that's a very hard thing, because you're talking about, to a certain extent, an art form. I mean, is it art? I don't know if it's purely art.
It's
I think
art. It's a creative expression is art.
Okay, so
Bottom line.
that's called art. So straight away, you're putting it, I think, into subjective territory. Because how many times you look at a painting on TV, they talk about TV, oh, that's art, and you go, seriously? So as soon as you put it in that subjective realm, I think straight away you're struggling with some form of fair judging. Because, it's like going back to the old comp scores in 7th ed,
Alright.
Warhammer Fantasy Battle, where
Yeah.
oh no, hang on a second, that's a hard list, and you go, well no, somebody would go, no it's not, another person would go, yes it is. Like how?
But I mean, that's how society puts value on anything. I'm getting pretty philosophical now. The reason that you'll pay $1 million plus for a Van Gogh original, or $100 million plus for Van Gogh original, is because that's the value society places on it. So if your painting is valued by the people that view it, you should be the best.
And this sums it up to me perfectly. You have to sell it to the people. Just because I'm the best person
that's very true.
technically,
Yep.
doesn't. If you can't sell it to the people, then
Yep.
no one wants to buy it. You could have the best tasting kebab in the whole of Queensland, right?
Could it be ham and pineapple?
It could have ham and pineapple. It could have chips on it, even. But unless you can get people to come to your store to try your kebab, it's not selling.
Yeah.
So it's irrelevant. And I think painting is that.
You're exactly right. I remember at Youth Bowl, I don't know when it was, donkeys ago, and I think it was the first Youth Bowl we went to actually, and they did the best painting, like, so they asked players, coaches, to put their best painted miniature
Yeah.
at the front, and we all voted on them. And I think we voted by hands? I think just a show of
Yeah,
hands.
show of
remember?
hands. Yeah.
The first one, this was like this, and I remember Chad was standing beside me, and we voted, and whatever one was like a monster, like an ogre or whatever, a troll. It wasn't a 25mm base. It was a bigger miniature. I remember he said to me, he was whispering on his breath. He wasn't talking to me. He goes, so the big miniature. You got to do a big miniature. And I was like, I've just heard he's working in his brain what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Sure enough,
Light bulb moment. Yeah.
Yep, next year he painted up. I forget what it was. Maybe it was a troll. I think.
No, if I'm not mistaken, and
No,
Chad,
it was
feel free to correct me. It was
It wasn't the slam, was it?
no, it was
the
this
team,
monster
the Goblin team.
spraying out Gatorade or something like that with
Yeah.
a hose, like
That's
a-
exactly right.
like it
Remember
was-
he custom built all the goblins?
Yeah.
Went through every single goblin was converted and custom built for his team, which was all fan based.
It was fans. They weren't just goblins. There was a whole range of
That's
species
right.
and models. And,
And anyway,
everyone was individual and unique.
He did a big dude, and I remember it looked amazing.
Chad, when you listen to this, post it up.
yeah,
Yeah,
totally,
see it.
Put the pick up.
totally 100% deserved it. It looked spectacular.
See,
But it drew, like exactly what you're saying, it drew people in, and then as soon as they saw the big guy, they saw the rest of it and went, holy crap, that is amazing.
Yep.
You deserve
got
it.
to get the punters in the door before, otherwise they're not going to hit you up with any
Yep.
votes right from the get-go.
All right, there's one more thing from Bensome's top post that I want to just touch on. He said, why don't TOs release the voting scores?
The scores.
And I think this is a really interesting one. And I thought about it, and I answered it on the message saying I used to do a checklist, blah, 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 thinking I'd answered his question, but then I thought about it, and I never actually released
Released the
how many
scores.
people got best votes.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, why did I never do that? And the reason I never did it is because it was all done on a scrap of paper that got handed in.
Yep.
And once I counted them, they went in the bin at the end of the day.
Yep.
There was never, because it was never on the scoring software, or no one ever said, how many votes did I get? Because we already had the checklist, we had paint scoring that way, I never kind of put two and two together. People want to know how many votes they got on a blind ballot. But I think it's something that I will definitely do in future.
I think that would help, possibly, because going back to Greg with the amount of conversations we used to have about the painting side of things, it might let you know whether you're close
100%.
to getting those people in your door or not. And if you are, maybe what you might need to do to get at that last little step, or if you're nowhere near it, maybe reevaluate what you're doing.
I think it's a
to
great
get
idea.
them-
Yep,
to get them
definitely.
in.
The issue with that, though, is you don't know who's voted for you. So you can't go around to someone, did you vote for me? No? Why not? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas if you had the checklist and TO and go, right, okay, I didn't get this. How come I lost the points here? What can I do to improve in your eyes? And you can have that conversation.
With the
But-
checklist, you can. That's very easy.
Yeah.
That's
And I've
I
had
scored
I've had
15
dozens of
points.
those conversations.
What points did I miss out? Okay,
Yeah.
you didn't eyeball stuff.
Yeah.
So you didn't get the extra 5, or whatever it is. But if you went the judge's choice, here's the judge's choices, I should say, and now we're going to do the player's choices. I think that may be where he's actually asking. He wants those ones to see, did I just miss out on best painted because
That's easy to ask the TO though. I know at CanCon I don't know the exact split, but I know it was very close. First and second was
Yeah.
very close. I don't know about
I just
third.
wonder
I've
about
had a couple of times
points.
where I've done blind ballots and they've been equal, and I always give it to the player that got the highest battle score.
Yep.
Because it's just they've finished higher up, they get the prize.
Yep.
And it's the same with sports. If there's ever a tie on sports, I always give it to the player who finished highest because they're winning or doing
They're
better in
winning
the
games.
and they're still getting
and
sports
they're
votes.
still getting a good game. Yep.
So I've kind of adopted that philosophy when I do ballots for painting. But
Yep.
I think definitely in future, if I
There seems to
start
be a
running events again.
transparent. The
Yeah.
feel I got from his post was that he has an issue with the transparency of
Yeah.
some of these. Now that leads to, well, why is he having transparency issues? Does he feel, or has this actually occurred, where perhaps this is getting tainted in some way?
Possibly. It's
Throwing out the scores, no feedback.
Yeah, certainly. If it's not handled correctly, it could certainly lead that way, couldn't it?
If you trust your TO, and you should always trust your TO, I don't think it's so much of an issue. But if you're playing in an event where you don't necessarily know the guys, you don't know the TO that well, maybe you've only played in a handful of their
Well, let
events
me-
or a first one,
Yep.
it can be a bit tricky. We go, what's happening here?
Well, let me
'Cause
paint a scenario here. Because he's talking about Malifaux. Let's say it's his first event. Let's say he's got some wicked painted stuff. Hasn't done it before. I'm not saying this is what's occurred. I'm just painting a picture here.
Yeah.
Goes in, looks around. He's a painter. He's like yourself, Greg. Obviously, having a look around and goes, I've got this in the bag. But what he doesn't know is that 10 of the guys that are at the event all play at the local, and they all know each other.
Yeah.
And they all vote for Joe Bloggs, who's one of their teammates.
Yep.
He gets best painted. Possibly Benson's missing out on a best painted purely because of friendships, realistically, and clicky groups.
I've had at a blind ballot at an event I went to. I won't say it was for Infinity. No, I'll just say it. And I've had someone come up to me and said, I voted for your army because I'm sick of Greg winning.
That's a backhanded compliment.
Yes. And you know what? Greg still won.
He still won.
I got one vote.
Yeah. There you go. You're getting closer.
That's
You've never
it.
told me that.
So
Yeah, I thought you
never
get
mentioned that.
angry about it. but,
realistically,
No,
all,
I'm not angry.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
all you have to do is get enough people pissed off at Greg.
Greg
and
for
you'll get
winning
best
all the
painted.
time, yeah.
It's not. I've heard that actually before. I've heard that comment before.
I
Not
think-
by you, but somebody else.
I
Yeah.
think a comment like that will come up if you keep seeing the same army or what do you guys call your game? Like what other-
Factions.
faction, whatever. If you keep seeing the same models turning up and the same guy with the same models
Yeah.
is winning it every time, I could see why some people would almost.
Yeah, but see, that comes back to...
I heard of an interesting way that people dealt with that. Tournaments dealt
Yeah.
with that. You could only win the event with the same army once or faction.
Yeah.
The next year,
Yeah.
if you turned up with the same army with essentially same models, you were out of best painted. You'd still get all your painting scores,
Yeah.
but you couldn't get best painted.
Yeah.
That's
I
an
guess then
interesting way of
maybe
doing
the
it.
year after you're good to go again.
Yeah.
But you would have a year
I like that.
break.
I think that's good.
To me, that comes down to the person running the event. If you're running the same event year in, year out, the person can take the same army year in, year out. You're not creating any variety for your players, and you're encouraging that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
if I was running, imagine an Infinity event, and I ran one in May and I ran one in December, I'd play completely different missions. So
Yep.
people had
It's forcing
6
you.
months.
So you're hoping that they're changing the models, right?
Well,
Because
that's
of the
it.
mission
And if you're going to
changes.
bring the same models, you're going to be at a disadvantage.
I guess the difference is maybe in, say, something like a more the fantasy or larger games is that realistically the
Got
same.
to
You're going to
launches
have your
are- yeah.
20
up.
archers times 2, you're going to have your spearmen, you're going to have your cavalry
Most
times
of
2.
it's the same stuff.
Yeah, it's the same stuff. Yeah, true
so
that.
I guess that's what maybe it was more for that.
Yep.
And I can see arguments both for and against it. But that was a bit, I'm assuming a particular TO's take on it to give you guys coming up a chance against possibly someone that's I don't know, maybe a golden demon or a crystal brush winner or something and got no chance.
Yeah. It's an interesting take. I think it's,
It's well rounded
Yeah.
because you're not necessarily saying the guy can't win. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
he
wanna
just
bring
has to
something,
take
you
his
just-
Neo Terror instead of his vanilla.
At the end of
You
the
got to
day,
bring something new.
as we know, TOs can do
Whatever
pretty
they
much
want.
what they like.
Yeah.
And if it's in the player's pack, well, you got no excuses. It's in the player's pack.
Yeah.
All right, I think we need to wrap it up there. That's some really great conversation. I think we're getting pretty good at this. Any final thoughts, Mr. Greg?
Not for me. Just interested to know how we're gonna give this book away at Muddi's.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, me too. We'll come up with something.
You're always going on about giving out merch, and now I say, I've got some merch, and you don't know how to give it away.
Hang on, do you realise the postage cost for that's going to
I'm not paying that. I'm giving my book away. I'm giving my book away.
It's got to be someone local.
Yeah.
Someone to kickstart us. We need postage for the Bensome book.
Yeah, Kickstarter.
Before we give it away, I'm going to come up with a topic. We need some cash.
Look for our Indiegogo account.
I'll ring Ronnie Renton to get a Kickstarter going.
Yeah. Well, he knows. Well, we're on social media and all that sort of stuff. Check us out. Facebook. Follow our page. Feel free to comment. We want your feedback from the show. Subscribe to our iTunes channel or Podbean or YouTube. We're all over the place. Twitter. We're going to teach Muddi one day how to use that. The monkey we've got it's doing a great job at the moment, but Muddi's a step up from a monkey, I think. And basically, we want you to prepare yourself because next Saturday, we'll be dropping our brand new take on our episodes, which is our review.
Oh, we're going to review the reviewer.
Wow.
Are we? Yeah, let's do that.
That's deep.
No one's ever done that before.
That's deep.
I know.
Very philosophical.
I get real deep.
So, what's do we want to tell our listeners what the first game we're going to review is?
I'm pretty sure. Is it Walking Dead?
Walking Dead.
Yeah.
All
Walking
Out
Dead?
War.
We're happy with that.
Mantic's Walking Dead, All Out War.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's the format we're going to roll. We'll have one episode with the banter, and then one episode with the review. So, stay tuned. Let us know what you think.
Tune in.
And good night.
Night.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Power Stance Gamers, the #1 place for tabletop banter. You know you love us. See you soon.
It's Eternal and Mix well on the track once again, killing it. T-Dot to Montreal connection, funk resurrection. Ha! Yeah. Once again. That Canadian flavor.
Power Stance Gamers, leave a message after the beep.
This is Cetra, great king of Nekara. Just thought I would pass on my compliments for an outstanding podcast. Now I must take my leave, for I am cruising for bitches in my flaming chariot. Not much else to do, unfortunately, since Games Workshop royally fucked me good and proper. Keep up the good work, you sick cunts.